Everybody good? How y'all feeling? Happy to be in the Couples Corner with y'all today. Enjoying a nice Sunday evening, and we are glad to be able to share with you all tonight. Hopefully, everyone will be able to invite a couple and share with them that we are in the Couples Corner, and we are going to be discussing a few things tonight. So make sure that you are inviting some people to the conversation. Allow them to know that we are here. Uh, share this with your friends and let them know that it's about to go down in the couples corner. We're going to pray in a second, and then we're going to jump right into our topic for tonight and share just for a little bit. We got a good one tonight that we're going to be discussing, and looking forward to hearing some of you guys' input, because that is going to be something that is going to be good to hear. Would definitely like to, see what that's about. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, let's definitely get some people involved, and we want to hear from you all tonight because we want you to chime in. So if you are a wife, tag your husband, call him in the room with you. If you're a husband, tag your wife, call her in the room with you, so that we can have this discussion tonight and talk about what's really going on and what's really going down. Um, and so we're gonna pray in a second, and then we'll jump right into our topic for tonight. So let's pray. Father, we thank you for another opportunity to gather together in the Couples Corner. We thank you, Lord, for every couple that has shown up tonight, Lord. We pray, Father, that you would allow them to be able to gain some insight, some understanding, some nuggets that they can use that will cause their relationships to be better, to be stronger, to allow them to have a better understanding of themselves, each other, and how to bring about success and longevity in their relationship. Thank you, Lord, that we will be able to utilize these tools in our everyday living, and it will cause us to be better examples in the earth of what marriage is supposed to look like. So, Lord, we thank you. We thank you, Lord, for your grace and your mercy. We thank you for your hand. We thank you for your covenant in marriage. And we pray, Lord, that as we discuss that tonight, that you would be in the midst of it all, that everything would be done decently and in order, but more importantly, that you will be glorified, and that couples will be inspired, that they would gain insight that they can use, Lord, and that we would be able to show up as the best versions of ourselves for our relationships, and that our marriages would be a great example and testament to all those who desire marriage and who desire a relationship and who desire this covenant. Lord, let us be a good example to them. Let us be the inspiration that they need. Allow us, Lord, to be the example of what success looks like in marriage, oh God. We love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so tonight, guys, we are talking from the subject. Tonight, we're talking about wants and needs, and knowing the difference between the two. Sometimes we don't always convey that properly, of what a want is versus what a need is. But when we are in a position that we can share that, it allows us to be in a space and place where what we need to do and what we're striving and trying to do is able to be done and successful. So we're going to share from that tonight for a little bit about wants and needs. And for those of you who have tuned in with us, whether it's from YouTube, from Facebook, or from Instagram, feel free to chime in and share with your questions and your thoughts. If they're questions, we will try to answer them. If we don't have an answer, we are not going to make up nothing, because we don't operate like that. But if we can't provide an answer, then we will hopefully be able to point you in the direction of one that can provide that for you. But tonight we're going to talk about wants and needs. And I think that sometimes we get those two confused. And because we get them confused, we sometimes show up asking for wants, treating them as if they're needs. And then sometimes treating the needs as if they're just wants. And I think that for our relationships to have complete success, and we need to be able to identify the difference between the want and the need. So It is extremely important that we are able to recognize that if we're going to produce some things for ourselves, that it is based on us knowing how to say that this is what I need, not just a want. This is what I need, and because it's what I need, it's something that I am specifically trying to, you know, not sugarcoat as something that I just desire. But this is something that I actually need. And because I actually need it and I identify that I need it, I am actually then looking for something that I will be able to use and have because I need it, not just something that I want. So what would be something that you need versus something that you want? When you start talking about marriage and you start talking about people and you start talking about how you need things for your success, one of the things that we always talk about is before you get married, you need to know your needs because you need to make sure that you're getting with someone that can supply those needs. If you don't know what you need, then you'll be aimlessly getting involved with someone that won't be able to provide for you what you need. If they can't provide for you what you need, then you're going to be with them and still have needs. That is not healthy. Because if you're with someone and still have needs, that means that you are not fulfilled, which will then potentially have you looking for your needs to be met somewhere else. And somewhere else does not always mean by someone else, but you can be looking somewhere else to have a need met when you're supposed to be complete at home. So if you don't know what your needs are, then you won't be able to put out there what you need, nor will you know how to look for what you need to ensure that you're with the right person. Because listen, there are some great people in the world, and there's some people that have some great qualities and all that other kind of stuff, but it doesn't mean that they're the right one for you. And so if you are engaged, you need to know what you need because in that process of knowing what you need, you will put yourself in a position to then know who to be with. The worst thing in the world is to be with someone and then find out they are not what you need. Because whose fault is that? Like sometimes I think we don't want to take accountability for the fact that we can make some horrible decisions and choices out of selfishness in many cases and out of being too fast. So, if you look back, I know a lot of people don't want to do that, but if you look back over your previous relationships before you got with your spouse that you're with now, you can find that those people had some good qualities. There were some good things about them, but evidently, somewhere along the line, you either did not know what you needed or you settled knowing they could not provide what you needed. And in your settling, you realized you got to a point where you couldn't settle any longer. And all that added up to was wasted time. Because in that wasted time, I spent time with someone that could not fulfill me. I spent time with someone that could not be for me what I needed to contribute to my happiness for me to be whole. First problem is we cannot think that someone is going to make us happy because happiness is a choice. You have to choose happiness. I can contribute to her happiness. She can contribute to mine, but she can't make me happy. I can't make her happy. I can contribute, but if she doesn't choose happiness, I can do everything in the world that would provide and produce happiness, and she can still choose not to be happy. And that would not be my fault. So some of us have had experiences where we were blaming other people because they just wasn't making me happy. No, you just weren't choosing happiness. And they subsequently could not, contribute to your happiness because you didn't know what happiness was for you. So these are all things that you need to know. You need to know what your needs are so that you can communicate those needs to your mate. And when you communicate those needs to your mate, you then put yourself in your relationship in a position where you can win. And when you do that, you now have a better chance of having success and longevity in your relationship because you've identified and realized that this is what I need, and therefore I'm seeking those things so that I can have what I need and not just what I want. Because I'm going to tell y'all some things about some wants that don't equate to a need.
All right, so I'm about to let you keep on talking because sometimes you want your wants and your needs. You just want it all, right?
Right.
But so to my favorite people. All right, first of all, y'all, and if anybody came on after Marcus said it, please share this. Please put your comments, put your questions. Tell us about how you discuss your needs with your mate, or how you decipher what I need and what I want. Like, how do you figure that out? Like, this is in your relationship that you're something you're not getting. How do you sit down and say, no, this is something I really need, not just what I want or what I'm just asking for, but this is what I need to move forward in this relationship, to thrive in this relationship, to feel, like I'm a part of this relationship. So for my favorite people, my engaged couples, you have the time now to decide, can this person, because Marcus is talking about this, but for us that are married, now we got to figure it out. Like, we're not telling y'all to get a divorce. If you figured out, like, yeah, you wasn't supplying my needs, but you just what I wanted, like, right. You look good, and I was just like, all right, all the other stuff I'm going to work with, then I got with you and realized, like, no, I really do need somebody who can pay bills now. But, like, not all the bills, but you pay some bills. But now we already together. We're going to work that out. We'll talk through that, okay? Because we don't want y'all going out here talking about, I knew it. See, now Team Bevans done said I should have been with somebody that could meet my needs, and you can't. But we can teach each other how to meet the needs, right? And I believe that in all areas you can teach it. But the engaged couples, I think that you have a time now to say, no, is this really the person for me? Right? And yes, you are engaged. And sometimes engagement does not always get you to the aisle. Does not always get you down that aisle, taking that final, I call it that final walk. Like, woo, Lord, it's the final walk.
Not the final walk.
Like, whoa, you sure? Like you want to go forward or backwards?
Like you locked up or death row.
Like, it's, it's something. Depends on what your life was before. If you was sweet and innocent like me, then hey, that walk might have been easy. But you had some things to shake off, and you might be stronger walking down that aisle. To the engaged people, I want you to really think, like, are you meeting my needs? Is this person meeting my needs? Can they meet my needs? Mm-hmm. Am I asking for too much from them? Right. Right. Because I don't want you to getting married is not a, we're going to say I do and magic is going to happen. We pray that magic does happen some days for you. But, we know the reality is that every day is not going to be magical. And I don't want you to be like, man, I knew, but I'm just, you married that potential, right, as Marcus would say, and we don't marry potential. Okay, so all my engaged couples, we don't marry potential. We don't marry what they can be. We marry what they are right now, right? Whatever it is right now is what, take that for face value. What they're showing you, believe it, and take that for face value. And if it changes and gets better, great. If it changes and gets worse, hey, we're going to work that out. But we're not marrying hoping that, well, he said he's going to get this job. Like, okay, for instance, I was not a nurse. When I got married. Right. So if Marcus was married me saying, yeah, she going to meet that need. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't handle all of this, but in 2 years, we'll be able to. No. Like, no, that's the potential. You thought, but what if I decide after I get married, like, this is good. This life is good. Like, I don't need to work. This life is good. Then you're messed up because you thought you married what you thought was going to be. And that's because we were so young. So we were still figuring out, what our lives were going to be. Like, we knew, we told each other, but we still had to get there. Okay. And so for anybody who is engaged, you need to have this conversation, or you need to have a conversation with yourself, right? Don't answer yourself, but no, have a conversation. Like, sit down, write down what you really need. What do I need out of a relationship? What makes me feel? What will make me feel good? Not just what I want. And you have to be able to decipher what you want, right? Because what I thought I wanted, like, and I'm not saying that this is what I wanted or I thought Marcus was gonna be, but you know, if I would have married Marcus for what everybody was saying, Marcus, I should. Like, you about to be the next Luther. Girl, you better, we ain't no skinny Luther, fat Luther. But you better marry him. He's about to be the next Luther. He gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna be, y'all gonna be doing this, that, and the third. If I'm married for that, then that will be wrong. Because, like, do I really need that? Did I want that? Did I want the life? Now, I don't know if I did or not. Like, did I want the life? Because I saw both sides of that life. So I don't know that I really wanted the life. But if I married him for that, thinking, oh, I need that, because I'm gonna need that money. I'm gonna need to be traveling. I'm gonna need to, knowing that we can do that other ways. But if I marry him saying, yeah, we're gonna, then, you know, when he turned down his deal, right? And that's the story for another day. But when he turned it down, that I would have been like, now I'm not saying, I don't know where that deal would have took us, right? I don't know. It might have took us to separation, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes you got to know, like, what I want and what I really need. You got to know, right? So, but when he turned it down, that could have been the end, because I'm like, wait a minute. The people said you're going to be the next Luther. I married you thinking we going to have this, that, and other. Now, life ain't bad with Marcus, right? Life ain't perfect with Marcus. But life isn't bad with Marcus. But I truly believe, and y'all know I'm always give y'all personal stuff. I truly believe that he was what I need, because, and when I say he was what I need, no, I chose him. He chose me. I'm not saying God, we met, like, you know, no, we chose each other. There was a lot of other people we could have chose. I told y'all I got a line. If me and Marcus get separated and divorced now, I got a line. People were lining up to deal with me. So,
we're not gonna talk about
y'all know me. So, but I believe, because my personality, like, it wasn't always, it's not like what I wanted probably was a little different, but thank God I had a chance to get to know Marcus, because we got to know each other as friends first, right? But coming out the gate, I don't know that either one of us would have just been like, yeah, I like we, okay, of course we were appealing to the eyes, but we was friends. We talked, you know, for a little while, right? Marcus was throwing dates out there the other day. I was like, wait a minute, don't be throwing no dates out there. People might be like, these dates don't, I thought I was dating her. No, but, you know, now look, y'all going back trying to find them dates. Mind your business, okay? Don't worry about it. It's whatever date I told you. So, like, I know that, like, what he was, or what he is, or what he was to me, that was good for me. Like, what I wanted, or what I thought that I would have been with, or who I would have been with, was definitely no. I don't think I would have had as many years in, right? So sometimes, even in that, you know, you have to give people, and I'm talking to my engaged people too, you have to give people a chance, give people a try, give people, you know, you need somebody. Don't just from the looks of them say no, you know, or don't just from whatever say no. You know, if you're engaged and you got engaged off of looks, you need to right now be like, we need to have a conversation, because them looks not gonna stay. Like, my hair was coal black, like that was my color, like coal black, right? There's no promise I was gonna dye my hair for the rest of my life. Now, that was my regular color, but I used to dye my hair. But you know, since I've been 20-something, I've had gray hair. So if Marcus was like, yeah, that gray ain't gonna work,
I'm out of here, your scalp old.
no. Like, Like, it's not gonna work. So even so, then as you get married, right, there are things you need to know, like that you need to be honest with, that you need to survive. I think some of y'all are like choking yourself out because you're not being honest and you're not saying, this is what I need from you.
Yep.
Like I need to, like, y'all know I'm gonna be honest and transparent with y'all. I need to feel secure. I need security from Marcus, right? And that comes from so many things that we've been through and gone through. Like I need security, right? Or this gonna be a mess. Or y'all gonna see us on the news, right? So like, and when I say security, I don't need him to be like, baby, I need him to, yes. Now at this level, I know who I am, where I belong. And some of y'all might be like, oh, I don't need that because I know I'm the white, whatever. No. I'm gonna be honest with you. I need security. Everybody should have a husband that makes them feel like that they are the wife and they belong here in this place, right? Because in this world we live in, that can get off sometimes. And if you do as much stuff as Marcus do, sometimes that can get off, right? So that's something I need. Now, what I might want is to be everywhere Marcus is. And that is like, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to be right here. But honestly, that's just the relationship me and Marcus has. It's nothing to do with nothing else. Like, that's just the relationship we have. Like, I could call him every 2 seconds. Like that little meme that says, me trying to call my husband to tell him what to say, whatever. That's me. That would be me. Right? Like, because he's like my best friend. So, and that's not a front. Like I have friends, I do, and I tell them a lot, some of them, right? But like Marcus is like my absolute best friend, and he can get me together without getting me together. Like where I might have to argue with one of my friends, like you don't get to tell me, But he could get me together where I can just be like, oh, okay, all right, I'm gonna talk to you later, all right, because that means I need to get off the phone because whatever he said wasn't right about what I just texted him or what I just called him to say. But I know that there are certain things I need from him, right? And everybody that I dated before, everybody that, oh, wait a minute, I only dated one person.
Keep on talking.
Y'all don't know me. That's what I'm keep saying. Y'all don't know me.
It's gonna come out.
I've been married my whole life. That's what I'm gonna tell y'all. That's what some of y'all think. I've been married my whole life. If anybody who hear that I dated, you better not. You better not type nothing. Not mean it. People don't know.
You cannot say people that they can't say nothing.
So, like you have to be able to, and I have to feel like I'm a part. Like, it's not gonna work like, yeah, I'm just that wife, like you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. And now listen, some of y'all relationships might work like that, but for me, I need more closeness. I need that tightness. I need that we are family. I need that. Like Marcus knows I need that, right? So we have a comment that says, I need effective communication. Like that is something. So this person cannot go around. You can't be with somebody who don't want to talk to you. And when they talk to you, are not effective. Like that is the key word to that, effective communication. Because we communicate all day long and then it's not effective. Like you said a lot, but you didn't say anything. Like, how can I understand if you're not breaking it down for me to understand it or giving it in a way that I can get it? Because hollering is not effective for some people.
Absolutely.
Now, if Marcus raised his voice, he's going to get my attention. Y'all know why? Because he does not raise his voice, right? And I would say that I need communication too. And I would say that both of us need communication, not just for our relationship, but because of our family that we have to communicate effectively. So I will go out as far as to say, like, he don't raise his voice. So if he yell, he's going to get my attention. But I don't know how effective what he says is going to be, because I'm like, no, what's wrong with you? What you hollering for? Because you don't holler. Me, on the other hand, if I holler, it's just like, okay, now I don't really holler like that. I used to really be a loud person. I don't really holler like that, but I'm definitely a communicator, right? And y'all go here, y'all can type y'all comments, y'all questions, how you communicate, what you need, right? And you may help somebody by typing what a want is and what a need is, or what you felt like something that you thought was a need, but actually realized that it was a want. So I just want y'all to really think about this, because if you sometimes you making arguments and things for things that's like, if you don't get that, you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Right? If it's a want and you're making it real huge and big, like you don't want to, you want to really be discussing and really be working on things that you absolutely need for yourself, for your relationship to get forward, right? And if you are having trouble with that, you need to maybe write it down so you can see it. Like, you need for you like, I need to have a car. Like, Marcus needs to provide a car for me. But it don't necessarily have to be like the electric Hummer that I might want. Like, it doesn't it doesn't necessarily have to be that, right? And I'm saying practical things, but these are some things that y'all get into arguments about. Now, you got a whole car outside, right? Which is what you need. You need a vehicle to get to work, to get the kids, to whatever, right? But because the vehicle that was purchased was not what you wanted, you got an attitude. You need to step back and take a look at yourself and say, wait a minute now. Because there's some people out here whose spouse ain't getting them nothing. Right? Now, he bought me this vehicle. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. Okay, that's fine. But it is nice. And it is something to get from A to B. Now, what you need to do is sit down and talk about how you can get to your want. Right? So that's kind of like how you can save money to get that house, or how you can save money to get those things. And I'm just giving y'all these, practical things. But reality is, like, we have deep things that we need. Some of us have been through traumas and different things growing up or in other relationships. And you need to express, like, what that is so that your spouse will know, so that you can get what you need. And I'm just giving an example. I had somebody who was like, they had some very traumatic things happen. This was a long time ago. And they didn't really like sleep through the night. Right? And their spouse was there to do whatever was needed, comfort them, whatever. This took a little while and got them through that, right? But if they wasn't honest about what was happening and what they needed at that time, then this would have been a rocky road. Because the spouse don't know what's going on. Like, all right, what you keep waking up, jump? What you having, nightmares? Like, what's going on? But you have to be honest. And even in being engaged, going into this marriage thing, you need to be honest about some things. There are a lot of things like you need to share. You need to communicate. Like, it's just, it won't do you any good to hold it. Right. When it's something that you need. And at the same time, while you're trying to get your needs met, you need to see how you can be a need meter. Did I say that right? Okay. Like, you need to see how you can do that. Okay, so let me just say this comment and then I'll let you go. Okay. So there's the next comment said, I want him to dress a certain way, but I guess I don't need it. And that's true, like, right? However, that doesn't mean that you can't communicate it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Marcus doesn't want my hair short, but he communicated that before we got married. If my hair's short or long, is that gonna be one of his needs not met?
Am I gonna stop him?
No. But he did communicate that. So for my engaged people, listen to this. This is people married saying this stuff. Like, is there certain things you want, right? They might not be a deal breaker, but they should be told. You should be able to say, like, I want you to, and they might be like, I'm gonna get that to you. I want Marcus to not wear pants that are like 2 sizes too big for him, right? But it's the thing. Do I want him to wear skinny jeans? No. I just want him to bring it down just a little bit, right? Because walking on the bottom of your pants, all that stuff, right? And see, some of y'all might see him, or that know him, might see him dressed up a lot, but sometimes like his jeans or his sweatpants, like, you okay? I just can't like. I just want him to stop it, especially when he lose weight. He just want to keep weighing the big stuff, and I'm like, what? What are we doing here? But that's not a need. Like that's not gonna make me. It's not gonna be like we're gonna fall apart, or I'm gonna be depressed if he keeps doing it. But it's a strong one that please take it down a size. Like I know you don't want to wear no skinnies, but just take it down a size. I understand, but so things like that. It's not to say that you can't verbalize it, vocalize it, because I find that we talked about this in another thing we were talking about, that a lot of times we find that spouses are afraid to say things to each other. Not sure why, not sure where that comes from, because if you can't talk to the person that you lay down every night with, then I'm not sure like where the comfort is, or where the trust is, or where the like you should be able to say whatever. Now, not any kind of way. Don't be like me, okay? But you need to figure out how to say it to yourself.
So to that point, I think that sometimes people aren't saying stuff because they're concerned about their mate's feelings, right? But this goes back to effective communication, because that is a loaded situation. We always talk about communication whenever we discuss, and I'm not saying we as in Team Bevans, but whenever communication is discussed, it is always something where we bring up the word effective. But do we really understand communication, first of all? Then secondly, effective communication. So communication is the exchange of information, right? But not just the exchange of information. One has to understand the information that is being exchanged. That's what makes it effective. If it's not a two-way street, it's dictation. It's not communication. I am not communicating with you. I am telling you when I'm the only person talking. So that's one area that's a troubled place, because some of us only like to dictate. We don't like to communicate. We're not interested in hearing your thoughts, your concerns. We're not interested in hearing, where you are, what you got going on, or any of that. We just want to be able to say what we think, convey our information, and move on. That's not communication, that's dictation. The other side of that, from an effective standpoint, to really be effective with communication, the person that is effective is the one who understands the recipient of the information that they're sharing. You have to understand who you are sharing information with, and understand how they receive, understand how they learn, understand their boundaries, understand what will turn them off, what will shut off the switch from them to understand what you're saying. If you are not paying attention to those types of details, you won't be effective in your communication. Many couples have struggled with their communication, all because one person was not considerate of the recipient. You can get caught up in being comfortable in being who you are, that you don't consider who you are communicating with. It is a selfish person, and a person that does not have self-control, that says, oh, I just keep it 100. I just say it how it is, this, that, and the other, and never concern themselves with the recipient of the information that they're sharing. If you are not concerning yourself with the recipient, you don't care whether or not the information you're sharing is received. You only care about getting it out, because getting it out makes you feel good. And that's selfish. So if you want to be effective with your communication, you have to consider the logic of a teacher. A teacher teaches a class that has multiple students in it. They can have 20, 25, 30. You in Baltimore City, you might have 35 in your classroom. And you have the responsibility of teaching that one lesson to all 30 of those people. And all 30 of them don't learn the same. So the way that that teacher is effective is by learning how these people learn. So I might teach this same lesson 4 or 5 different ways so that I can reach everyone. Because when I teach it this way, 6 people get it. When I teach it this way, 7 people get it. When I teach it this way, 9 people get it. But my goal is to ensure that everybody in the class learns the lesson. That is what makes me a good communicator, that I understand the recipients of who I'm communicating with. I understand them, and I understand how they receive. So that is what would then constitute me being a effective communicator. Many of us are just straight out dictators. We just want to say what we want to say. We don't want to listen. We want to, we're not interested in what you have to say. We're only interested in sharing what we want to share.
Yeah.
And so you can find that out with people who only listen to respond. They don't listen to learn because they're not taking in the information that's being shared. They're listening to find a fault. They're listening to find a flaw so they can capitalize on that moment. And that's not what effective communication is. So we have to do better in that area so that we are providing effective communication and not just selfish dictation to the people that we love. So when you were saying you don't understand how some people don't, they're afraid to say stuff. Sometimes they're not afraid to say it to the person, but they're afraid of the outcome if they do, because some people are they're very easily offended. So if you do bring up something, then they're thrown off, and then you got to deal with the attitude. You got to deal with them being upset. You got to deal with them being hurt. You got to deal with. So some people will make a decision and say, "Is this important enough to me that I want to bring this up and have to deal with 3 or 4 days of emotion, 3 or 4 days of attitude?" So I would rather just tolerate it than to have that conversation and have to go through all of these emotions. Because then once you get in that mode, I'm going to be trying to figure out why are you even there. This is all because of a habit or a way that you have that I'm voicing to you bothers me. And you're offended by the fact that I brought it to your attention, not even my delivery, just the fact that it was brought to you at all. And now we're in this place, and that situation is not that important for me to go through this, because then you're going to make me react and respond to what you're giving me. And then now we're so far away from the real reason that we had this whole, disagreement in the beginning. So some people will just they'll make a decision and say, you know what, it's not worth it, and I'm not even going to do it or bring it up. They can just have it. It's whatever. That's not healthy either, but that's the reason that some people do.
So, we were going to talk about wants.
So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about these wants, right? Because, and I'm going to speak from a male perspective, right? And I'm going to speak
because you are male,
absolutely, and I'm going to speak very candidly as well. So, women have this thing about men and what men will look at and think that that's what he wants because he looked at it, right? That is not necessarily true. You can like something that you see, but not want it. And so some people think, some wives more specifically, think that their husband has a type because of some things that they have seen him look at, or some things that they have seen him watch, or, type of thing, and think that that's his type, and it is not. He doesn't want that. It was just something that he saw. So because he saw it, like for instance, let's take, for some of the people who were strip club goers, right? So they would go to the strip club and watch strippers strip, right? Now, I don't know how they call it strip, because most of them already came out of what they was going to be in, so they really didn't take nothing off. But nonetheless, they would, go, yeah. So, I was on outreach. The people, right? You can have guys that are in there that are watching people dance. And a woman can be in there and see that and think that that is who he wants. While the whole time, this man is entertained by what she's doing, but in no way would he want her to be his lady. And because that's something that you saw him watch, that's something that you saw and thought that he found to be appealing, that's not something that he wants. And maybe if we, maybe further defined wanted, that could be something as well. But there are a lot of things that people can look at, can enjoy, but don't necessarily want. And I think that sometimes from a male perspective, especially in this, social media age and all of this, where, you're not a real woman if you can't twerk, if you can't do this, if you can't do that, because, for some reason, we've gotten into this culture where nothing is a secret or surprise anymore. Just show it, show it all. So it's like, because that's what you see and that has become the normal, then by default, you're going to think that this is what this man wants, or this is what this woman wants, or this, that, and the other. And, that's not necessarily true. And that same thing happens within the relationship as well, because there are things that you may have known about his past because like we talked about earlier about previous relationships. And so you might think that because of these previous relationships, that this is what he wants. And that is not necessarily what he wants. That might have just been a decision or choice that he made at that time, but that ain't what he wants. Because if he wanted it, he would have still been with it. So,
not if she got food.
Yeah, but if not, then you would have got real close to it. Because that's what you wanted. So you would have gone back to that same type of thing to get what you want. But that's not necessarily the case. So I think that sometimes we have to look a little deeper, dive a little deeper, and stop being so surfaced on stuff and not jump to conclusions. Every good-looking guy is not somebody that your wife is interested in or whatever. Every good-looking young lady is not somebody that your husband is looking at or interested in or whatever. Like, I think that we have to grow and mature a little more within ourselves as well as the other mate, to make sure that you are not violating or messing up their trust or messing up their esteem or doing any of those things. I think that is all important as well. But I think that when it comes to wants, one, you need to know what you want and you need to be able to articulate it. And another thing is, when you do, now this is another little crazy thing. Sometimes if you wait too long to articulate what you want, you'll be questioned about where this want came from.
Yeah. And why didn't you say it? I mean, not want. You talking about needs or want?
Want.
Oh.
Want. So, we in our 25th year marriage, right? If I introduce a new want today, it's gonna be like, well, why you want that, or where did that come from? I could have wanted that the whole 25 years that we were together. But because it wasn't a need, it wasn't a deal breaker. But I could have wanted it, and I could have been waiting to see if it was something that you were going to produce or provide on your own, or something that you were going to look into or whatever, because I may have shown or said or given hints or even spoken about before, and nothing ever came about it. But now I'm at a point of place where I want to start pursuing it more and sharing it more because I desire it more today. But that can then flip on you and be like, well, why you want that, and where that come from, and who you been around, and what you been watching, or what you been listening to, or whatever that got you wanting that. And it's like, this is a want. I've always wanted it. It's just like you might have, since you were a teenager, wanted to live in a house where you could look outside and see water. That want never changed. It just wasn't a need, and it wasn't something that you were pursuing at the time. But now that you're at a space and place where you desire it more and you're ready to pursue it, why does that then have to become a problem? And many of us have a shallow mind to where when something new is introduced in our relationship, because we always talking about keeping it fresh and keeping it spicy and doing something to make sure that it ain't stale. As soon as somebody tries to do that, oh, let's go to this place. Where you find out about this place from? Google. Why you know what I'm saying? Like, why does it? We say we want stuff, but then when it's presented to us, we treat it as if, why is that here, and where did this come from, and all that other kind of stuff. So, these are actual things that we also have to be mindful of, so that we don't mess up the whole process of the communication and people wanting to share what they think and feel.
Yeah. What's today? July what?
14.
And they still doing fireworks. Somebody go get your cousin and tell them to get from outside doing them daggone fireworks because people trying to sleep. Anyway, so I don't get it. It's illegal, isn't it? Why are we doing this? Anyway, so I'm gonna go back to something because this is a sidebar, not about necessarily wants and needs, or maybe it will tie into that. But I feel that somebody needs to hear this. Like, if your woman is looking at a man, and like Marcus said, he's attractive, she's not blind, okay? There are attractive people out here in this world, let them look. Please don't make that a big argument. If your man is looking at a woman, let them look. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I don't know what it was. Me and Marcus saw this lady walking down the street. And her whole butt was out. Like, literally. Like, so she had on like a thong and like some sheer pants. So Marcus is trying to rationalize that she came from the pool. And I'm telling him,
where you coming from?
She did not come from the pool. This is her outfit. She had on like a little crop top, right? That's her outfit, right? But I would be crazy to get upset. That Marcus, first of all, I looked over there because I was like, what is going on? Like, this is what we do now? We just let it all hang out. Okay, if any of y'all ever catch any of my daughters letting it all hang out, please call me. I don't care how old they are, because we gotta have a standard. Like, we gotta do something better, because the attention that you're gonna draw, and yes, you might think you want that, but there's some really sick, perverted people out here, right? And then she's pushing a baby.
Right.
She got a little baby with her. So she's pushing a baby in a stroller. So my rationalization was, she wants you to see how she bounced back from having this baby. But Marcus swear this girl was coming from the pool. Yo, where she was walking, I ain't gonna say where she was walking, because she might be one of your cousins, friends, sisters, daughters. Like, what's no pool? There's no pool around there. There's no pool she could have been coming from unless somebody had a little pool in their yard, like having a little pool, little blow-up pool. So, but I can't think, oh, that's what he wants, or that's what he wants. So now let me, right? And even if that's what he wants, ain't what he needs, right? Ain't what he needs right now, right? Because there's so many other things going on around that was just. But like, you have to understand, like I said, this is a sidebar, that your spouse is going to see other people that are attractive. You would be crazy to think like you're the only person walking around here that catch their eye.
Right.
Now, you might be the only person that got their heart.
Right.
But catching that eye,
right,
is something different.
Absolutely.
Right? Because if 50 Cent come down that street, both my eyes, all four of them is caught. Right? Like, God. Okay? So I don't want y'all to think like, y'all, we gotta get out of this. You know, I just feel like I needed to say this. I've said it before, but we gotta get out of this. My spouse can't look at nobody, because then that's kind of crazy. That's like they in a box. They see a woman coming, they like, they can't even. You know, they trying to. Now some of y'all doing too much, and you know what you're doing is too much, right? But you have to, as a spouse, you gotta be like, okay, they look nice. Like, give people their props. They look nice. I told Marcus back in the day we blew the horn at her, because that's what we used to do, to blow the horn at people. We was driving down the street, we used to blow the horn at people like, oh, you doing your thing, right? And I love men. I don't love no women. But I love a man. I'm going to tell you that. But like, I was like, oh, she would have got a couple horns. She's doing her thing. And it was just funny. But I could see that being an argument for somebody. Like, what you looking at for? Like, if she was coming from the pool, what you, like, y'all arguing, this girl still sashaying down the street. She don't know neither one of y'all. She don't care for either one of y'all, for real. So, like, we have to understand that there are beautiful people in this world. It's made up of a lot of beautiful people, a lot of handsome men, and we're going to look. Your spouse is going to look. Don't make it so hard for them. Don't make it so weird for them. Don't make it so, I hate this. Because, you know, I know if I look, y'all, I used to date somebody, this is a real deal. And if you on here, don't say anything, because it's the truth. I used to date somebody, I couldn't look in the cars where my mother lived, where my parents lived. The cars go up and down the street all day. Every time I looked in the car too long, I'm like, what you looking at? How much can I see with a car that's driving past about 45 miles an hour? But back then, you know, I'm like, I'm just looking at the car, literally, because I'm really probably just looking at the car, and I'm not even a car person. It's just like the cars are going up and down the street. I do it now when I sit on her porch. Cars are going up and down the street. Marcus ain't like, oh, who you looking? People blow the horn. We wave. That's the thing. When people blow the horn, we just wave, because we don't know who you are, because we couldn't see you going that fast. And especially now, you know, you're getting a little older. I don't know who that was. My mother will say, Y'all know who that was? I don't know, but we all wave because we don't want you to feel bad, right? Next time, if you speak to us, just slow down a little bit so we can see who you are. But we all wave. But Marcus can't get upset because, like, oh, you was on your mother's porch. Something must be, that must have been an old. No, y'all. I just wave. I'm waving at the car at this point. Hey, they don't even know. They might think I'm one of my daughters or one of my daughters is me. They don't know what's going on. So we have to let that go. Like these little arguments, these little things, we have to let go. People are human. You yourself see people that look nice and you yourself look. And when you are not with your spouse, you're going to look. Now, when you're doing a whole bunch, about to have a car accident, all of that, that's too much. But you see somebody look nice. If you see somebody that look nice and you tell them they look nice, that's fine. And we have to stop thinking that every time somebody tell me that I look nice, that they flirting with me. Or that they want me. Right? Especially in church, since it's Sunday, we could talk about that. Right? But this is not our topic. But you got to stop thinking like, because somebody, I came in the door, they were like, oh, missionary, you really look nice today. Oh, thanks. Keep it moving. I know when things get weird. And I will tell Marcus in a minute, it's a little weird with him. It's a little weird. You want me to speak to you every 2 seconds? It's a little weird. Like, I will tell him in a minute. I know when they get weird. But just because somebody give you a compliment, oh, missionary, your glasses is nice. Oh, I really like your hair like that. Like, let it go. They wanted to compliment you, right? If you give a compliment to somebody, it doesn't mean your spouse shouldn't get upset, right? Now, if you're doing too much, and y'all know what too much is, we're all grown enough and old enough and mature, I pray, mature enough to know what too much is, then you need to stop that. You need to, whatever that is in you, you need to deal with that, get delivered from it. But that was just a little sidebar because I feel like, people they like, oh yeah, but they be looking at them and they be liking their posts and they be, y'all, what is it like? I read something the other day that somebody was like, if me liking your post means that I like you. Now, some of y'all do too much, though. You liking everybody post, you loving it, and your wife is home, like, stop. It's too much. And I can say a couple names, but I will not do it because I'm like, gosh, like,
everywhere
always.
Everywhere
like, you ain't never liked none of my posts like this. Like, what's going on? So, but they was like, ain't this what you're supposed to do on social media? Sure, that's what we're supposed to do. So liking a post, loving a post is not. We know when you're doing too much. We know when you in the inbox and you in like all of that stuff. But yes, okay, if your spouse likes something or whatever, that doesn't mean they want you to become it. Right? They don't want to see that on you, or they don't need that from you. That's something that they saw, like, okay, fine, don't want about it. It becomes big when we dwell on it.
Exactly.
And when we make it like, oh, this is what. And there have been many conversations I have had with Marcus to ask him certain things because I'm like, now y'all guys walk around and say y'all like this, this, and this, but y'all always hollering at this, this, and this, making these people feel like it's cool. They on. That's why people going to get injections everywhere in their body. Like, it's dangerous. It's dangerous out here. So what I can say about the girl yesterday, she was real. I believe that all stuff was real. All stuff was real. It wasn't fake. It was all real. It just was all out for everybody to see. Like, people was in their cars. I could see the guys was coming down like, what's going on? Like, so you gotta know, even in me saying that I need him to be secure, to make me secure, I still know who I am, right? I still know who I am. So if there's a time where he doesn't, I still know where I am, who I am, where I stand. Like, you have to know who you are, what you need to do, what you need to have, and what you need to portray to make this relationship work. Because if I show up tomorrow, walking down the street like that young lady, this relationship not gonna be too good. He gonna be like, hey, what's going on here? Where you going? I'm like, oh, it's after work. I'm about to go walk on the track. I'm about to go walk on the track. They like, you forgot. Now, first of all, I ain't gonna have on dogs. I'm gonna have on balloons. So that's not gonna work. Y'all know we like to cut up. All right. So this not gonna work, okay? Because the outfit ain't gonna look the same. Because I'm gonna be still trying to cover up, right? Because I got kids out here. I can't be playing. My kids ain't in no stroller. My kids would be like, Mom, now what's really happening? Are you sick? Are you ill? You need a therapist. You need to talk to that. So, that's what sometimes we try to do. Like, oh, he must want that. Yeah, like want, not a need. Does he need this thing? Do she need this? Like, we have to be able to convey it, but we also have to be able to understand, like, what it really is. Like, Marcus don't need to wear no muscle shirt for me. Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? I can see somebody in a muscle shirt. Now he be like, oh, that's what we want. She need that to get. No. No, I need you to be who you are. Dress how you bring them pants down just a little bit. But dress how you dress. But the emotional things, like, y'all have to be honest with the emotional things you need, right? The physical things you need. You have to be honest about these things. Because when you out telling somebody else, like, me and my friends, we can have some good talks, but honestly, I can't do anything for them. I can help them, assist them with communicating it to their spouse, but I can't do anything for them. I really can't do it. I can't make their spouse do it. And I'm talking about my male and my female friends. I can't make their spouse do it. And I cannot, like, they have to communicate that to their spouse. It's good that they can share it with me as a friend. But if you can't communicate that to your spouse, and listen, the communication that you're giving to your spouse, if they can't perform it right away, if they not out buffered, if they can't bring it forth right away, right? It's something they need to work on. At least they're trying. At least they're giving it a try. I was sharing with somebody today that I really love the Lord, y'all. I really love this life that, that football player passed away, and, condolences and prayers to his family, friends, and everybody that he touched. But I was just really saying, like, we really don't know, you know what I'm saying, how much time we have, how long, like I lost my thought, y'all. I was going somewhere with that. But what was I saying right before it? Oh, I was saying, so and the person was like, I was like, I really love God. And I know I don't do everything right. I know I might be a little, like, just doing Cherie sometime. I might be a little, like, this is what's going to happen. This is what I said, and that's it, right? But I really do, like, talk to the Lord and try to figure out. I really do listen to sermons, no matter who's preaching them, and I try to apply it and I do apply it, and I work on me, right? Because I'm definitely not the same person that I used to be. But the person was saying, but at least you're trying. They were like, there's some people out here that are like, oh, I heard what you said. They were like, but at least you're trying. At least you're trying to get there. At least you're trying to work on those things. And that's what I'm saying. If your spouse is trying, if you see them giving a try to it, don't make it so hard. Like, yes, convey your needs. Convey what you need them to do for you. And when you see them trying, or when they miss the mark, don't be so hard, because they're trying to. They didn't just... especially if this is something new that you're doing, because y'all heard this conversation. Now y'all having a conversation saying, well, I really need for you to this, or I really need this, and I really didn't ever tell you this, but this is what's going on. And I need you to have a little grace, right, with them, so that you can get what your need is. And I believe it will happen. And for the person that wants the need, you still have to remember that your spouse has something too. So let's not be selfish, let's not be all about me. A lot of relationships, I believe that we don't get this part right, because it's all about one spouse. We don't get this part right because, I'm trying to do everything for her, and I'm trying to do everything for him, and then never thinking that it should flip, right? If we both work on each other, or work on meeting those needs, but being honest about what we still need, it will be good. I think it will work. So, if y'all have any questions in the comments, please type them. We're going to get off of here. in a few minutes. We're going to give you a few seconds because I know there might be a little delay. Um, but if you watch the replay, please put your comments and put your questions in there, and we will get it and we will answer if if we can. If we not, if we can't, we will send to somebody who can. Um, but also, just don't forget that you all can send us topics that you might want to be discussed. You can send them to us however you communicate with us. Um, and we just thank you all for like tuning in and for being here and having conversation with us. This is never a dictatorship. But I really want you to work on these wants and needs. I really want you to think about and discuss like with your spouse, and if you're engaged, again, discuss it with them so that you can know if this is something that you can fulfill when you get married. But with your spouse, if it's going wrong, it can be fixed. If you just have to have a conversation, an effective communication, right? Not just a conversation where you're just dictating and you're just saying all, like Marcus said, all everything that you want, and you're not making it clear. You're not making sure your spouse understands, but you need to be sure that they understand what you're conveying. And it might have to take a few times for them to get that. Now, I pray that all of you all can have needs met. I pray that because that makes for a good relationship. It does. Makes for a good relationship. Again, nobody's perfect. Marcus is not perfect. But when you try, so that was funny. So, but your wants, I'm not gonna say you won't get your wants, right? I'm just gonna say, me and Marcus just want you to know the difference between them, and want you to know, like, if you don't really need this to thrive in life, if you don't really need this to move forward in life or move forward in a relationship, then that's a want. That's not a need, right? Need is absolute, something that will make or break you every day, right? And you may have been broken every day because you have not conveyed these needs. So work on that. Work on how you talk to each other. And your wants, they will come. They will come. I believe they will come. Now, again, if you want 50 Cent, you can't have him because he's coming but no, but something like that, like, come on, let's make sure it's realistic. I think that's what I wanted to say earlier too. Make sure things that are realistic, like even with your needs and your spouse meeting your needs, make sure it's realistic. It's a realistic timeline. It's a realistic thing that they can provide for you, because they may not be able to. And then you have to figure out how to get around that. But that doesn't mean that you don't have a conversation about it.
No, I think you said a lot. And, and I think
we're gonna tune out so you do not see him give beats.
I think it's important, like we were talking about earlier, even in, like, she's married, she's not dead, right? Yeah. She's married, she's not blind. So, I trust me, I understand what y'all are going through. I'm always baffled by it too. But I know that somewhere in the world that there's another attractive man other than me. But like, why would I get upset because she saw somebody that was attractive? Like, first of all, what gets me is that some of you perpetuate the situation and then get upset that they got involved. You like, girl, you was wearing that dress. Oh my goodness, hey, don't she look good now? You like, oh yeah, that do look nice. You like, what you mean she look good? Yeah. So you gonna set me up and then you gonna try to make me out to be a bad guy? You just sat here and raved about the dress. I didn't even pay her no mind until you started raving about it. Then I looked at the dress and was like, oh, it is a nice dress. Then you gonna ask me, is it nice? I agree, and you like, you don't agree with that. We can ready to go. Have a nice day. Now we got to go argue. Like, that's craziness. So, like, I think that we again have to be mature. We have to be respectful. But like, I think that we have to stop trying to function in a realm of ownership. And continue to function in a realm of partnership. And understand, first of all, get rid of your low self-esteem, get rid of your insecurity issues and challenges so that you won't bleed those things on your spouse. So because you have insecurities and because you have esteem challenges, you now don't want your wife to speak to. She can't wave. You know, somebody let her over and she waving. Who you waving at? Like, calm down, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're doing way too much. And that's your insecurities and that's your low self-esteem bleeding on her. So now she's walking around a prisoner to showing love that she's supposed to show to people, being kind like she's supposed to be to people, and you just, you know, it's just way too much. So we have to do better so that we can have a healthier environment, because you then teach your spouse to hide things from you. You'll teach them to only look at people when you're not around.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So then when you do see them looking, then you feel like you caught them looking. Like, you didn't catch me looking, I was looking. Like, the same looking I do with you is the same looking I do when you ain't here. Now, if I got to look differently when you ain't here, then that means something's wrong with my looking. Like, these are simple things, because if it's not wrong, why do you have to do it privately? Now, to her point that she made a little earlier about going out here liking all these posts, I'm not sure if y'all realize this, but you do know when y'all go liking these people posts and all that, like, the people that know you, that are friends with you, see your name under these people's posts when they go look at it. So I'll be scrolling on social media and some people be on my timeline, they be about naked or whatever, and then I see Reverend so-and-so that liked it, and your name is Reverend so-and-so. Like, bro, come on, think this through. I'm not saying you can't like it, but let's think about this. Because now everybody that scrolls through that Reverend so-and-so is their friend, see that Reverend so-and-so is liking this post that's talking about, here go Keisha, double cheeked up on a Sunday. like what's happening?
In reality, is you don't have to like the photo. You can just look at it. You can stare at it all day. You can screenshot it if you want, but you don't have to put your like underneath of it. You don't have to click anything. Like, oh gosh.
Like, you know, you just got to think these things through a little better, people.
Did we ever do social media yet?
We did. We're gonna have to do it because
I don't think we're gonna have to do social media yet. I thought we was about to do it, but something happened.
Yeah. Yeah, that's because this you know, there's some stuff y'all don't realize.
Y'all need something the other day was posted, and I think it was supposed to be in a group, but it wasn't there, and I was just like, wow, like, do you know that everybody can see this? But it's okay. Maybe y'all don't care.
Yeah, right. Did you think you posted that in your close friends?
Yeah, something was off with it. But, you know, and too bad that when we talk about social media, we can't use examples because then some of y'all be in trouble. Like, oh, y'all can see that. Oh, okay. And listen, I'm not going to say that everybody's perfect on social media. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that some things I know for a fact, some of y'all don't want nobody knowing that you done went down and like
36 of them.
All of their pictures. Like, what? Now what's going on now? And then you talking about Team Bevans. I think we need to talk. I bet we do, because that social media is doing bad, right? So, you know. But we don't judge y'all. We just want to help y'all for real, because people judge us. We don't need to be judged. We just need help. People just need help and point in the right direction. Yeah. And you can make it work. Now, if you keep making bad decisions, you're going to get what you get. But we just want to put y'all in the right direction. Because some of the things I really think y'all do not know. I really think, like, y'all don't know. And maybe you're getting exposed so somebody can help you. Maybe that's it. And then some of y'all maybe just don't care. But, you know.
And then some of it is because you aren't having honest conversations. You know, like you were saying, like, if you got to hide that somebody looked nice in their outfit, or you got to hide that somebody looked good, or, you know, whatever, like, if you should be able to point stuff out to each other, because it's nothing to hide. Like, she's shown me women. Like, you see her? Because you already know
I showed that girl yesterday.
You already know I was going to look anyway. Like, I ain't blind. You see what I'm saying? Like, so now you open the door, like, hey, you see them shoes? You see that suit? Or whatever. Like, the dude was slick today. Like, why we gonna try downplay him, act like he ain't put the work in to get that outfit together? You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't He done got shaved up and all that. He, you know what I'm saying? The dude put it together. He was good. So why I can't show her that? And why she can't be like, did you see that? That was a nice suit or whatever. What you looking at him for? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and I'm a compliment. I give a lot of compliments, right? So it's nothing for me to say something to somebody, men or women, like, oh, that look nice, oh, you look nice, or whatever. But I mean, I'm not thinking that you got to be in my car when I get back out there and we go home. Like,
so about my suit.
It's too much.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? What's in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just got to do better with that and be able to communicate effectively our needs, our wants, and we have to create safe spaces within our relationship so that our mate feels comfortable talking about any and everything with us. And I don't mind that my wife has a bunch of friends. What I would mind is if she has to have conversations with them because she can't have them with me.
Yeah.
If she chooses to have them with both of us, cool. But I don't want her going to have a conversation with somebody because she can't have it with me. That means that somewhere in here, there's some form of disconnect. There's some, form of unhealthiness in our relationship or in our communication or ineffectiveness in our communication to where she doesn't feel comfortable or safe to share anything with me. And the same vice versa. So if we got to have conversations outside because we know we can't have them inside, something's wrong. And that we need to work on that. So, sorry to say, but all of my friends, all of her friends are electives. They aren't the necessities. You see what I'm saying? And that doesn't diminish the friendship or the value of the person. But I don't have to have you because if I don't have you, I don't have nothing.
Yeah.
Everything I need, I got right here. Everything she needs, she got right here. We still are open to all of the other components and parts that we have outside. But if I don't talk to any of my outside friends, I'm not going to be at a disadvantage. And same for her. Like if you don't talk to your homeboys or you don't talk to your homegirls or your sisters or whatever, like some of y'all wouldn't make it, and that's not healthy because that means that there's a disconnect somewhere within that y'all can't just be shut in with just y'all, no outsiders, no nothing, and you wouldn't be able to have a good time.
COVID, y'all were struggling. Some people were.
Yeah, that's when.
And I still hear people talk about that today. Like, I did not want to be in that house with her. Or I did not want to be in that house with him. Like, these are people like on my job just saying this. Like, yeah, COVID was, it was a guy the other day though. He did say, he was like, I like being home. I had a good time. But like, people have either way. They're just, that was a time where you found out like, oh, okay, this why I worked at night shift. Because being here with you but that's bad, like.
Yeah, that's bad.
Gotta figure that out because you never know when there'll be another COVID.
Yeah. So we thank y'all for tuning in with us tonight, and we appreciate you all, sharing in the conversation and sharing your input and all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next week in the Couples Corner. So y'all stay with us and have a great week on purpose. All right, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.